What if I could tell you there was a proven formula to building a wildly successful, profitable fitness business? Well, that's exactly what I've created with our fitness profit roadmap. A blueprint, a proven methodology so you can create a business that has three things. Number one, a lot of profit. Number two, one that has impact, that changes lives. Number three, one that gives you freedom as an owner. What we identified was that there are three core drivers. Number one is the delivery driver. This is the actual product and experience itself. It is what the consumer is getting. There are four key elements in our delivery driver at the baseline. I'm going to go through each one of those four. Number one is our... Now we move over to the scale driver, and there are four key elements that I'll cover here. The first is that we now come to our third and final driver, and this is what if I could tell you there was a proven formula to building a wildly successful, profitable fitness business? Well, that's exactly what I've created with our fitness profit roadmap. Welcome to another episode of Profit Made Simple. So we've been in the coaching space for over 8 years. I've owned fitness businesses for over 15 years, and my team and I have had many successful exits. When we reversed engineered what made a fitness business successful, we created a roadmap, a blueprint, a proven methodology so you can create a business that has three things. Number one, a lot of profit, because profit is what feeds the family. Number two, one that has impact, that changes lives. And number three, one that gives you freedom as an owner. Freedom to do what you want, when you want, with the people that you want. What we identified was that there are three core drivers for a successful business. Number one is the delivery driver. This is the actual product and experience itself. It is what the consumer is getting. And it goes well beyond just the programming and the support. Number two is the scale driver. How do you build a business and not have a job? Because so many people think they have a business, yet it is core person dependent. If you were to remove yourself from the business, it would fall apart. And then the third driver is the attract, the ability to create prospects and leads. And then it is the convert, actually selling those leads into the services that you offer. Now, this is a roadmap that we give all of our clients, and we have clients at varying levels. So even if you're a seven-figure client or multiple seven-figure client, like some of the people that join our community, we always start at the baseline of our roadmap. Our roadmap is designed to get you to $20,000 a month, but to get you there in the right way, without skipping steps, without taking on too many projects, without falling apart at the seams. Because this is what we see with fitness businesses. They skip steps, they get ahead of themselves, they create overwhelm, and there is that many cracks in the cave that it ends up falling apart. So within each of our three drivers, there are four key components at the baseline level. Now, this is going to be a multi-part series. This is part one. This is the baseline level of our roadmap and pyramid. I'm going to go through it, and you can audit your own business against everything I'm going through. If you're listening to this as a podcast, I encourage you to jump on the YouTube channel so you can see a visual of the roadmap, or reach out to me on socials at Coach Dan Henderson, and I'll give you a copy of the roadmap itself. So let's start at our baseline. And as I said, this is to get you to $20,000, but the right way. And if you're listening to this going, well, I'm already doing 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. This isn't relevant to me. I will challenge you on that. We have clients coming in, as I said, at seven figures, multi-seven figures, and they always have to start at the foundation and the baseline because there is always missing elements, and it just strengthens the business. A great business is built on a solid foundation, not one of sand. A great business with a solid foundation is one that you can scale. It's one that you can grow, and eventually you may be able to sell it. So there are 4 key elements in our delivery driver at the baseline. I'm going to go through each one of those 4. And as I said, audit your business. How well are you doing each of these 4, or is there a significant gap? Number 1 is our pricing and packaging. And I get to speak to fitness business owners each and every day. I get to speak to a lot of people that haven't been in our community. And I can say that more than 50% of fitness businesses have pricing and packaging set up in a way that doesn't maximize profit, that has very small margins, that gives too much power to the consumer itself, and therefore will leave you stuck. Pricing and packaging is the number 1 lever that we can pull to drive profit in a fitness business. And it doesn't matter how well you market or you sell or you deliver, if your pricing and packaging is not optimized, you are setting yourself up for failure. You get this right and everything changes. And so we have some really clear rules on pricing and packaging. Everybody has to be on a membership. We never sell sessions. We always have commit options so we can have people commit to a longer period at point of sale. But at the same time, we offer flexibility options at a premium. And we present it in a way that anchors the most favorable price point that we want people to come in at. So that's number 1 in our delivery driver. Number 2 is that you only have 2 core products. If you're at $20,000 or under, you only have 2 products. Otherwise, you're creating too many options and too much confusion for the consumer itself. You're adding products and services before you've adequately scaled them. And we do grow our profit layers. We want multiple tiers of revenue, and we do so as we go up the roadmap. But at the baseline, it's 2. So it might be team training and semi-private, might be team training and one-on-one. But any more than that just dilutes your focus, your marketing, and your messaging. So we've got to get very clear on what they are. Number 3 is that it has to be a membership model. I've lost count at how many businesses have come into our community where not everybody is on a membership. So you don't have predictable, monthly, recurring revenue, and are therefore depending on selling sessions and packs, and you're giving all the control to the consumer itself. Does that help them get results? No. Does that set your business up for success? Absolutely not. So we have a membership structure and we have a CRM, which is just a piece of technology to support that processes the payments and books them into the appropriate service itself. That CRM allows us to run really good reports so we can extract meaningful data. And our 4th component in the delivery section of our roadmap at the baseline is that every business should have a signature system and guarantee. Now, if you don't know what a signature system is, it's simply, what does the pathway look like for me as a consumer? What results, benefits, and outcomes can I expect within the first 30 days, within the first 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and beyond? I've done a whole podcast on the signature system. It is something that we do at Fitness Profit that nobody else does, and it just creates clarity for the consumer of what they should expect. It gets them invested long-term in being a member there, and it makes sales easy. So they're the 4 key components of our delivery driver at the foundation level. Now we move over to the scale driver, and there are 4 key elements that I'll cover here. The first is that you have a perfect week formula. And I didn't create this, but my great mentor, friend, colleague, and multiple podcast guests, Craig Ballantyne, did. And so it's something that we teach all of our clients is how do we structure our week so it reflects our priorities, not just our professional priorities, but our personal priorities as well. How do we make sure that we're not just flipping between tasks all the time, because then we lose focus, time, and energy? How do we make sure that all the core functions to have a successful business are reflected in your week and the time you allocate? That's our perfect week formula. The second are metrics. And I have a couple of sayings that my community loves to ridicule me on because I say them all the time. Dan's saying it again. What gets measured gets managed. Data drives direction. You need to be tracking consistent metrics every week and every month so you can see where the core constraints of the business are. At different times in business, we have a core constraint that is stopping us from getting to the next level. Now, that core constraint, it might be the number of leads that we generate. It might be the number of leads that we turn into consults. It might be the number of consults that turn up. It might be the actual sales from the consults. It might be our cancels. It might be our lifetime client value. It might be our ability to get a return on investment from our paid advertising. There's going to be different constraints, but we can only identify those and solve those if we track them each and every week. And so this is where it starts with all of those categories. And then over time, you build more complexity and more depth to it, but that's a great starting point. Number 3 in our scale driver is that we start to build a team. It's no longer just about us. To get to that first 10,000, 20,000, the business is very dependent on our drive, our ability to work and grind. But after that, we need to work smarter, not harder. We need to amplify and create leverage and arbitrage through team members. The first team member that you should hire is not a coach. It's an assistant. It's someone to do all the administrative work within the business itself. Now, this can be offshore. It can be onshore. I've done a whole episode on how to hire a VA. But this will immediately free you up. Once you've got some time freed up, because you're no longer doing anything from an admin perspective, you then can hire a coach. And when it comes to building a world-class team, we want values alignment. We want to make sure that the standards are very clear and that we have systems for team meetings, professional reviews, upskilling and development. So we create an environment where they can do their life's best work. And the fourth component, which is very important in our scale driver, is that we are crystal clear over our vision, our mission, and our values. Our vision drives every decision. Our values are our DNA. We can't begin to think about hiring and growing a business unless we are crystal clear on these elements, because it is one of the most powerful currencies that you have as a business owner. So they are our 4 key scale elements at our foundation level. We now come to our third and final driver, and this is our attract and convert. The first component in our attract and convert is that we have a very clearly defined low barrier entry offer. This is an offer that gives people the opportunity to trial your community, your services, and what you're all about at a lower barrier. Now, the low barrier is not price. We want to charge for this, and we want to charge a good amount. So it could be 21 days for $2.99, for example. It could be 6 weeks for $5.99. So the low barrier is not price. It used to be. But that's the fitness business of yesteryear. In 2026, the more we can charge for our entry-level offer, the better, because it allows us to reinvest into more marketing. It also attracts a better caliber of client. The low barrier is the time. Like I just described before, it could be 21 days, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 8 weeks, it could be 28 days. But it gives people the opportunity to see if this is going to be the right fit for them without having to commit long term. So we've got to get really clear on what our offer is. How long is it? What price is it? What does it include? What is it called? And we have a whole system for creating your offer. Very important. The second part of the offer is a free offer. Now, this is not something that I would promote to anybody because free offers traditionally attract cheaper prospects, bottom feeders, and tire kickers. However, we can use free offers very strategically, generally in 2 places. Number one is our website. Why would we use it there? Because it attracts a different quality of prospect. People that will jump and Google you and go to your website are further along in our stages of change. There are 5 stages of change, and they are in the preparation stage. And so it just makes it easy for them to take that next step. The second place that we like to use free offers is as a referral offer. We want to make it really easy for your clients to refer their friends, their colleagues, and their family members. We know referrals are the highest quality of lead, and a free offer makes this seamless and easy to do so. Our next part in our scale driver is that we want to define our avatar or avatars in most cases and our USP. So I'll break each one of these down. Your avatar is who you target. Who is your product or service positioned to? Whose problems are we solving? And when I think about an avatar, I think about it from 3 different perspectives, and it's generally a combination of these perspectives. Number one is demographics. Are they a male or are they female? Are they young or are they old? What generation are they? Are they millennials? Are they Gen Zs? Are they white collar, blue collar? So that's our demographics. The second is our psychographics. These are more behaviors. So it can be targeted towards the mum who hasn't exercised for a long period of time and they're just coming back into it after childbirth. It can be to the female or the person who doesn't feel confident or comfortable stepping into a gym because they've never done so before and they need a place that is safe and secure. So these are psychographics. The third one is an outcome. It's a specific problem that they want solved. I want to lose 5 kilos. I want to compete in a marathon. I want to compete in a high rocks event. And when you combine these, it's when it gets more powerful. So now I'm targeting females only that are scared, intimidated to step into a mainstream commercial gym that want to drop 5 kilos and start feeling like themselves again. I have a demographic, I have a psychographic, and I have an outcome. So we need to define our avatar. Now, generally in local businesses, you're going to have 2 avatars, no more than 3. Then we have our USPs. We should have 3 USPs. And this is what makes you distinct and different. As I said before, competition has never been more fierce. There is a gym or studio on every corner. There is thousands of online coaches pitching their services. So why should somebody choose you? What makes you different and how do you stand out? These are our USPs. And when you have 3 USPs that are distinct and different, you have a clear competitive advantage. Our next component in our scale driver are our 3 lead flows. Now, I talked about lead flows in a lot of depth and a lot of detail in a podcast episode not long ago. Go and watch it. If you want to learn about marketing, it's a masterclass. I go through all 6 lead flows and what they include and how to optimize them. But at a baseline, we need 3 consistent ways to generate leads for our business. As we get bigger, beyond $20,000, beyond $40,000 a month, we add more lead flows. But we need 3 that are consistent, dependable, and systemized. In most cases, it's going to be paid ads, database, and referrals at your baseline level. And then our very last component of our scale driver is our follow-up system and our conversion system. Our follow-up system is what communication, texts, emails, videos, voice memos are we sending out to take the person that inquired into a conversation itself. How frequent should that communication be and on what day should that be done? So that's what we call our monster follow-up system in our community. The second part is our conversion system. Once we actually have somebody in front of us in the gym itself or on the phone or even via a DM conversation, how are we navigating that conversation to get their future state, goals, desires, pre-handle objections, talk about costs of inaction, and transition into an actual sale. Now, we call this our 3C sales system. We've spoken a lot about sales on this podcast. And again, I encourage you to watch those episodes. So there are our 4 key components of our scale driver. So just to recap what we've done, we've talked about our roadmap. This is the proven way to grow your business. I'm not just talking about more money. I'm talking specifically about more profit, more freedom, and more impact. It's the delivery driver. There's the scale driver, and then there's your attract and convert driver. Each one has 4 components. And what I want you to do is I want you to audit your business. How well are you doing each of those 4 components, and where are the gaps? Because if you focus on resolving those gaps, you'll create a stronger foundation for you and your business to launch amazing things from. But only once you've done so. If you're feeling stuck with any of those components, make sure you reach out to us. This is what we love to do. We can give you some more resources on those components, and we can help you clarify what your biggest opportunity and area of need is. When you do so, you're going to have a bulletproof business that will give you more income, more freedom, and more impact. And that is what I want for you more than anything else. I'll do a part 2 on the second layer of our roadmap very shortly. But in the meantime, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much.